welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, whichever it is for you today. Still processing what happened, because 2 days ago I saw Blackpink live. It was on day one, if anybody's curious, because yes, they did practically sell out Wembley twice. Wembley being a 90,000 capacity stadium. Yeah, right, how am I going to talk about this? First off, let me talk about, the reason why I saw Blackpink live, is purely because of the insane kindness of a friend of the channel, a friend in general, one of my mods, Daniel. Daniel gifted me a ticket to see Blackpink live, which, yeah, I'm sure you guys know, obviously, the insane kindness that is, so big love to Daniel for that. So I've never been to Wembley Stadium before. I have been to Wembley Arena once, and that was to see IU last year. And Wembley Arena is literally around the corner from Wembley Stadium, if you guys don't know. But when you get off the train station at Wembley, there's Wembley Way, which is basically the road, the path leading to Wembley. And as soon as you get off the train station, it's like, there is Wembley. It is humongous. If you guys don't know, it is a 90,000 seat stadium. And I've seen the outside of it many times. Never been inside. So yeah, got there with Daniel and his lovely daughter, and I knew that as soon as we walked in there, it was gonna be, pretty awesome, and everything like that. I've been in some big stadiums before, but nothing of that size. And you walk in there, and it is just like awestruck. But the thing is, I wasn't just awestruck by the stadium itself. I was awestruck by where we were. I will put a photograph now from Daniel. It does not do justice on how close, that photograph does not do justice on how close we were, and the view that we had, I think, is better to say. And I said to Daniel at the time, and I was like, I'm not going to need to look at the screen so much. That's how insane this view is. So again, major props to Daniel for it. So here's the history with me and Blackpink, guys. If you don't know, it's probably good to know. If this is your first video you've seen of mine, or if you've seen one or two, it's probably good to know the history of me with Blackpink. I started this channel over 2 years ago now, just over 2 years ago. And Dreamcatcher, if anybody doesn't know, the group Dreamcatcher and K-pop, they are what got me into K-pop. They were my gateway into K-pop and everything like that. And then I, started the channel and everything like that. And I'd love to know what the first non-Dreamcatcher reaction was that I did, because I'm pretty sure Blackpink is a very good chance of being whatever that was. So Blackpink, without a doubt, are one of the first groups in K-pop outside of Dreamcatcher that I've ever checked out and fell in love with and everything. I'm pretty sure the original time I started the rankings, the Ultima rankings that I do, if people don't know, I do basically Ultima rankings. I've done a Blackpink one, where I've gone from the beginning of their discography to their most recent song, ranking the songs from most favorite to least favorite. It was a ton of fun. You can head over to the Blackpink reactions playlist to see that, and any of the solo stuff as well. I've seen from Blackpink. And sorry if you can hear whatever the building stuff is outside, guys. So yeah, Blackpink might have been the second ranking series I ever started. So they're a very important group for me, as I think they are for a lot of people, because while Dreamcatcher is my gateway into K-pop, I can imagine Blackpink is a lot of people's gateway into K-pop, right? So I've loved them for a long time, and anytime they've released something, I wanted to check it out. I've really enjoyed their solo stuff too. If you're curious, we're going to go into this more in a moment. Lisa was an instant bias for me. Absolute instant biases. I don't have a lot of instant biases. I do have some where I was like, okay, bias, and straight when you know, folks, as you know. But with her, it was like, yeah. And then the Wrecker, I was trying to work out for a little bit, and it eventually landed on Rosé. But I love Jisoo and Jennie as well, and I love their solo stuff, which again I will be talking about that in a moment. So yeah, that's kind of my history of Blackpink, and of course they haven't done a lot of stuff with a group loads lately, but anytime it has like I said, anytime they've done it, or anytime they've done a solo stuff, I'm like, yes. So yeah, here's the thing. I was thinking as we were sitting down, I was like, right, what's the sound gonna be like here? And then they started to play the MVs of their stuff on the major screen. It was this massive screen there, and it was this like big screen that would like the bottom of it folded almost like it was like a projector screen or something like that. It wasn't a projector screen, but I'm saying like the style of it was, right. And they played the MVs and stuff, which was awesome. And then Jump came on, and we started to get the feeling that okay, they're about to start, I think. And the volume, of course, is so that everybody in a stadium can hear it. And I thought it was a full volume. And then this happened. So yeah, when that bass kicked in, guys, I felt it in my feet. I have never, ever felt bass in my life like that. It was insane. And it's almost like I get a lot of goosebumps on this channel. I didn't have a say with the goosebumps there. The goosebumps were put on me. Do you know what I mean? They were put on me. Like, I didn't have a say at all. So that was an insane moment, and the show didn't even start. And then you see people then across the stadium make their way in and try and rush in then because they think the show is starting, because it is about to start, right? So I've got the set. If you see me look at my screen a bit here, guys, I've got the set list in front of me that they actually did at the show. And I'm just smiling because I haven't got the post-concert blues yet. You guys know post-concert blues, I'm sure, right? I'm still in, like, adrenaline, which is rare because normally the blues don't normally hit me at this stage, like 2 days afterwards. But the adrenaline that I got from the show is still in my veins. That I'm still, like, those blues are going to hit hard when they get there, but I'm still excited about it, like, if that makes any sense. So, like I said, there was this massive screen, the stage was amazing, and everything like that. But the production, you could already see that it was going to be great, but still, wow, man. I want to say that the camera work, of course, because I was looking at the screens now and again, the camera work was incredible. The way that the camera work was presented on this screen into different concepts and everything like that was mind-blowing. And yeah, there was fire. There was fireworks as well, which I'll get to afterwards. But yeah, it was just like, we were obviously, like you saw from the photograph, we were on the side, but it was still amazing, the visuals you were getting just from that angle and stuff. The back-end dances as well, brilliant. So Kill This Love came on. And Kill This Love was the first song to come on, and God, that's a way to get a crowd going. One of my favourite songs from Blackpink. And the sound came on, and I was like, oh, okay. And I thought like this, I was like, okay, so they've probably recorded a band, and they're playing the band on this massive speakers, right? But they probably recorded it before, because there was no band on stage. And then the screen became screens, and it just parted ways into 3 gigantic screens. And then I could see behind the screens from the angle that we were at, there's the band. And it was like, I don't know what it is. I didn't expect Blackpink to have a live band. I really didn't. Even though they could afford it, they can afford a tour in live band, I didn't expect it. So when those drums were coming in and everything like that, the drummer was phenomenal, by the way. Shout out to the band in general. The keyboardist was amazing, guitarist amazing, bassist amazing. The drummer was outstanding. And here's the thing, guys, that I want to say, right? Because again, I probably should have said this earlier. I'm not going to be able to show a lot of footage with sound over this, obviously because of copyright and stuff, which is a shame. But if you need to see them live, which is what I'm going to get to afterwards as well. Trust me, you need to see them live. You need to experience this for yourself. But let me tell you, right, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, I'm a person that believes that, like, just because something is live doesn't necessarily make it a better version of whatever song it is. Because for me, some people work better live than others. One live performance of one song could be great in let's say one country, and then that same song may not be performed that well in another country. Like for me, if you say the live version is automatically better, I disagree with that, because I do think the studio version can be the better version at times as well. I don't mean the studio version is always best, by the way. It's certainly live can up it, and it did on that day. Because here's the thing I would say: every song that I heard on this set list was the best version I've heard of each song. Every song. Like the arrangement with that band, to be honest with you, I love the electronic EDM nature that Blackpink have in their music, right? And everything like that. But I'd love to hear more band elements for Blackpink, guys, because I've heard covers of Blackpink as well, where there are band elements and stuff. I'm telling you now, man, like they go so well with the band. That was the most pleasant surprise for me of the band. I didn't expect that, and it was one of, honestly, I would say, I'm not talking bands now that are like let's say Muse or something like that, where they're a band, right? I'm talking about a backing band. It's one of the best backing bands I've ever heard in my life. It honestly was. And with the songs, it's just, again, why I've got the adrenaline still in my veins that I do right now. It was just unbelievable and insanely hype. So Kill This Love, then they went on to Pink Venom. How You Like That? Then they played a song, because we were talking, me and Daniel were talking before the show, because I was sat next to him, and I don't know what Blackpink set lists look like, and I made sure to keep it as a surprise. Excuse me. And if you don't know, Playing With Fire, spoilers for the Blackpink ranking, Playing With Fire is one of my favourite Blackpink songs. Arguably my favourite Blackpink song, I would say. And I didn't know if they were going to do it. I know it's got an MV and all that, but I was like, I don't know if they're going to do it, because they got such big songs. I was like, I don't know. And they did Playing With Fire, and it was outstanding. It was absolutely outstanding. Then Shutdown, with a dance break incorporating Crazy Over You and Type of Girl. Shutdown's badass. I bloody love Shutdown. The VCRs, by the way, were really cool. They had this like road trip western sort of concept and everything like that, with cowboy hats and everything, which, yeah. And Act 1, I just went through Act 1 with you. Act 2 started then, and this is when all the crowd started to realize, oh, they are about to do solos. And it started with Jisoo, so I was thinking, oh, it's going to go age order, right? I'll get into that in a moment. So Jisoo came on, and I'm going to start to talk about the members now. So Jisoo came on. Jisoo's very, very beautiful. Are you guys aware of that? I don't know. I should probably let you know in case you don't know. Jisoo's a very beautiful person. And she was being carried around like she was a princess, and fair enough, I would say. Absolutely fair enough. Her voice sounded beautiful. Live vocals, by the way, guys, they all sounded wonderful. And she came on with Earthquake, and I already adore Earthquake. I want to say as well, guys, when it comes to Jisoo and Jennie, you may have noticed there's a lot of people may be like, oh, you haven't checked out any Jisoo and Jennie on the channel for a while. I actually have. Annoyingly, their videos get blocked. Their reactions get blocked all the time now. So you would be surprised, and this isn't just a plug. Head over to my Patreon, search Jennie or Jisoo, and there's loads of free reactions on my Patreon. So I'll put the link for that in the pinned comment and everything like that. But yeah, I checked out a lot of their stuff, B-sides as well, and it's been awesome. So Jisoo came on with Earthquake, and I bloody love that song, and somehow it was even better with that band. It was absolutely outstanding. The way that all the members worked with the stage, by the way, because the stage had these long paths and ramps where they met in the middle. Like, the charisma that the four of these ladies have, obviously we're aware when we see these MVs and their performances and stuff on screens. In person, it's just like, God, they are superstars, you know, and Jisoo is absolutely that. And she came on with the All Love Them, which was beautiful, but man, coming on with Earthquake, they kicked ass. Kicked absolute ass. So yeah, I thought we'd go in age order. So Daniel, who's next to me, his alt, not just bias, alt. One of his alts is Jennie, and I was thinking, well, good. And I was being smug, and I was like, good luck, mate. Good luck, mate. You know, we're going age order. You know who's next. Even though I was going to get attacked as well. Like, you know who's next. And then Lisa came on screen, and I was like, smugness gone. Karma's something, isn't it? And Daniel had to laugh, as he should, at my smugness. And yeah, I tell you what, I'll save Lisa till afterwards, because I'll have more to say on Lisa afterwards. So I am actually going to go age order for the solos, so I'll come back to Lisa afterwards, because I will have a lot to say. So right, skipping past Lisa's section for now. I will be going back to it. Then there was Act 3, so again there was this VCR. By the way, I'd really love to see a Blackpink road trip show, like in America, what anywhere. But you know, seeing these Western things, I was like, I'd love to see that. Pretty Savage came on then Don't Know What to Do, Whistle, Stay, Lovesick Girls, awesome. Again, guys, I can't stress how the arrangements made all these songs even better. You know, I would say. Then Act 4 brought the solos back, and this is when Jennie came out. And Jennie did Handlebars with the IE way up like Jennie. And God, man, I mean, when I started checking out K-pop and stuff like that, again, Blackpink, one of the first groups that I got into, right? And I didn't, when it was just Dreamcatcher for me, I didn't know the term ace. And then I found out what the term ace is, and I was like, oh, Jennie. And yeah, seeing her now in person, Jennie is an ace, and she is a absolute badass. Jennie's rapping, she is, I don't know if she's like, as a rapper, I don't know if she's slept on in general in K-pop, I don't know, but she is an outstanding rapper. And the fact that she like, again, her singing is brilliant and her dancing is brilliant. She is a proper example of an ace in K-pop, I would say. And her medley in this section, this is probably where I had the most stank face, I would say. Like, I was like that, you know, pretty much throughout her whole section. And it was even better for me because I love anything cyberpunk and I love anything synth. And like I said earlier, there was a keyboardist. And Jennie, like, on the screen, she had a lot of cyberpunk imagery and stuff. And while she was performing live, they were showing her live performance kind of like this. And then around that on the screen was like this cyberpunk cityscape. And oh, it was so awesome. The way the camera work was, again, here, by the way, with Jennie. And the backing dancers, by the way, not only were they amazingly talented when it came to the dancing, but from a performer level, like, their expressions, like, they were giving it socks. They were brilliant. And this is one of the ways I notice here, but insane, man. Insane camera direction as well. Just direction of the concert in general was nuts. And then finally, the fourth person, last but not least, was Mareka. Which would be Rosé, and she had these beautiful microphones set up for her and her backing singers. And the way that her stage looked was like a soft rock, like, stadium show. It was really cool in that way. And she did Dance All Night, and then she did Toxic Till the End, which was absolutely gorgeous. Wow, yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I was thinking with Rosé, I was like, because I've heard a few Rosé songs at this point, I was like, oh, if she does this, if she does this, if she does this. But honestly, the ones she did were brilliant. And then she ended with Aperture, as I thought she has to do that with how massive that song is. And do you know what, with that, it reminded me how that is a good song, man. Like, Aperture is that is a dopamine song, without a doubt, because I've listened to it a lot in the last 2 days too. And I'm like, because obviously it blew up, right? And it became massive, even for their standards. And I've heard it a lot, and I've been like, yeah, it's great, man. It is really great. It was awesome with Rosé as well, because like the angle that we were at sitting down, you could always tell when, because they were sitting on the lifts to lift them onto the stage, and you could pick out like Rosé's like signature blonde hair from you know, like, even where we were sat and stuff, so you knew when they were going to come up. As this is something I should say with Jennie too, and with Rosé, gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Just stunning. And shout out to Rosé as well, because she did an amazing job, because she was pretty much doing the hosting, like, you know, as far as like the in-between chats and stuff like that, the ments, I guess you could say. And she was talking pretty much the whole show, and she was doing all that, and she's got an awesome balance of being like, right, we need to hit these bullet points of what to say, but like to be informal with it as well. She's so natural and stuff when it comes to speaking. That's something I noticed. She was awesome in that way. And I need to say, as I said Jisoo's voice, I said Jennie's talent and her voice as well. Rosé's voice live is stunning. Like, I can't imagine what it would be like to hear her do like all her songs and stuff. Like, just wow, what a voice. Then Act 5 came on and Jump came on, and Jump is a banging song, guys. I mean, I liked it on a first listen, right, when I checked it out on its comeback day. That's a banging song, especially in a stadium, again with that bass and everything like that. It was incredible. Bumbaya still slaps. Love that song. Now for arguably what is, again, yeah, arguably my favorite song, it's that or Playing with Fire. And Kill This Love is up. I'll be doing a re-ranking soon. I'll talk about that more afterwards. So yeah, is amazing. Surprised they didn't finish with it, because what I would have thought is that they finish on a big song, go away, and then for an encore they come back and they finish with because for me that is probably as massive as their songs are. I would say that's probably their signature song. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but it's like their massive one and the one that broke them through, but still is one of their biggest. So yeah, it was do. Then surprisingly it was as If It's Your Last. Forever Young was gorgeous live, absolutely gorgeous live, and then they ended the show. By the way, the crowd were incredible, amazing crowd, amazing atmosphere, as you can imagine, with like, because they had to section off a part of the stadium for the screen and the equipment and stuff, so it was more like 70,000, which is still loads, probably 70,000 people. I'd love to know if anybody knows how many people were there that day. So they went away, and I was saying to Daniel, I was like, are they going to do an encore? And the reason I said that is because, of course, I know the crowd would have shouted for an encore. I'm sure they would have done one as well. But I was thinking through the songs they'd done. I was like, they've done all the big ones. What else could they do? Do you know what I mean? I was like, what else could they do? And that's why I said that if I was like the concert director, and this was a perfect show, guys. I'm not saying this is a knock or anything like that. I'm just saying it would have been interesting if they ended with Forever Young. Could have worked like as it did to be the end of the show, right? But the encore, I would have saved do for that. I would have saved it for that. Because what happened after the encore is they did a reprise of Jump. Then they did Yeah, and then they did Kick It. So yeah, it was interesting in that way what they did for the encore. But they were great with the encore from what I saw as well, where they were like, you know, interactive. This is one thing I need to say as well, is that their interactions with the crowd, considering how many people were there, it was amazing how, you know, they have that professionalism, that confidence to like perform to all these people, but to still pinpoint and interact with individual people in the crowd of a stadium at that size. I found that insanely impressive, because they were interacting with, let's say, the sections of the stadium, But to actually interact with individual people, I found that incredibly impressive. Lisa, like, they all did it a lot. Lisa and Rosé were on our side a lot. Jennie and Jisoo were on the other side, so I didn't see it too much. But Lisa and Rosé interacted a lot. Lisa in particular interacted, and to see her bright smile, I'll save the simping for what's going to happen in a moment. But yeah, it was interesting in the encore. I'm gonna make a complete confession here, guys, and I want to be completely honest. So I was about an hour and a half's journey away, as far as the trains and stuff, right? And I was thinking, right, they've done all the big hits. They did the reprise of Jump, and I was thinking, oh, they're probably maybe going to do a reprise of other stuff. I don't know if they're going to do any other songs. Maybe they might do some interactions and stuff like that. Because I could see lots of people start to leave, and I was like, oh, I want to stay till the end. But like, the trains are going to be insane. They're going to be insane if I leave now, I was thinking. And I thought about it, I was like, oh. And basically I thanked Daniel, and I said, yeah, I think I'm going to shoot off now, because I've had pretty much all the experience. And it looks like they're just having some fun and stuff now, which I would have loved to have been around for. So I did leave, and I had that regret of being like, ugh, everything like that. And I walked around the stadium, and of course it's massive, so I had to walk for 10 minutes to get to the other section of the stadium. And then just as I get to the front of Wembley, as far as like when you're looking from Wembley, you're seeing this train station and you're seeing Wembley Way, and in front of me is like 15,000 people, because so many people have got the same thing that I'm thinking, right? And I'm just walking down the steps, and there's security guards all in front of me, like 40 security guards or something like that, facing the stadium. And then I hear it, the first, and the fireworks start, and I turn around, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this. So I turn around, and I'm watching with the security guards, who are in awe of this, by the way, because it wasn't just fireworks. It was fireworks for like 30 seconds long. It's a long time, guys. 30 seconds of non-stop fireworks is a long time. And I just had this, and I'll never forget this now, I don't think, for the rest of my life. I just had this image of Wembley Stadium with the fireworks going above it. And that view, like, it was almost, I got so lucky with that. I got so lucky with that, especially considering the fact that I had regret that I left a bit early. So I missed Yeah 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 and Kick It, guys, basically. And I just looked at that, and I was like, wow. And I looked around, and everybody was in awe. Security guards as well, which was hilarious. I saw a few of them subtly bring their phones to like their chest so they could film. So they could film what they were seeing. Don't blame them. Incredible. And then I got on the train, and I left at the right time. I left at the right time. It would have been insane if I carried on, I think. But it only took about 2 hours to get back, which I honestly, I know it's a bit more than what it should have been, but I was expecting that, and that's pretty good considering. I didn't have to wait for a train to pass because it was so busy too. It was correct choice, as annoying it was, as annoying as it was. So yeah. Before I summarize it, I did say I was going to go back to something, and I will. I talked about Jisoo. I talked about Jennie. I talked about Rosé. So I went to Glastonbury. I've been to Glastonbury twice, guys. If you don't know, Glastonbury is a massive music festival in the UK, in England. And the first time I went was in 2011, and Beyonce was headlining one of those days, and I was front row for that. So her iconic Glastonbury Festival performance, I was front row for it. To this day, I would say Beyonce is probably the most charismatic performer I've seen live, right? As far as just like, not just of course because she's beautiful and everything like that, but just charismatic performer when it comes to expression, not just the amazing dancing, but expression and stuff too. Lisa is now in that bracket for me. of the most charismatic performers I've ever seen in person. It's amazing because obviously I know this with the amount of stuff that I've checked out from her at this stage, and I know how charismatic she is. Her presence on stage is, you can't teach that. You can improve that. Like, I'm not saying she needs to, by the way, she has. But I'm saying that you can have that as a natural thing and improve on it, but you can't teach that natural aspect to it. And the thing is, for me, is that I said this to Daniel too. I watch a lot of K-pop, and I watch a lot of K-pop groups, and you know, they perform amazingly when they're doing their dance parts. They perform amazingly and stuff like that. And I'm not saying this. What I'm about to say, I'm not saying there's a knock against them. But my attention thing. I have the I have ADHD, so like my attention's pretty crazy. So I notice that when someone's not in the center for their dance part during choreography, when they're in the background, you'll see a bit of them like switch off and they'll wait for their next bit, right, to come in, and then it's amazing because they come back in and they're laser focused, and to have that switch is amazing. Lisa is one of the few people I've seen where even if it's not her part and she's in the background, laser focus, and it does make a difference. It does make a difference, because that's the thing that I would say is Lisa's like superpower for me, is that it's her focus, because her focus and her drive, and this goes for the others too, because the others have insane drive. Her focus, like, it just is it's like a catalyst, and it just emphasizes her amazing performance abilities even more. And she has a natural charisma to herself. She's just got it. But to be able to perform to those abilities, and she's just constantly like aware. She's like her smile is just constantly there, and it's so nice to look at. Like, so it's such a basic thing to say. She's awesome to look at perform. She's awesome to look at perform. Like, I personally, I can't take my eyes off her when she performs, and it's not just because she's ridiculously beautiful, which she is. They all are ridiculously beautiful, let's just say. It's just there's something in her eyes and her smile. It's captivating to watch, and it's captivating to watch in person too. She did Thunder, by the way, which, oh my god, I've been listening to Thunder on repeat the last few days. I forgot I've slept on that song. I love that song a lot. She did Lifestyle then, and then she did Rockstar. Rockstar with that band. That's the thing, is like, I like Rockstar a lot, the studio version. If it had that band, if it had even more band elements, oh my word, honestly, my words. Because I really want there to be a live album of this tour. It doesn't have to be the one from Wembley, but just of this set list, I need a live album of it. You know, like all the members' solos, the group stuff. Just, I can't stress, guys. Every single song, their arrangement was just stellar. So Lisa did that, and man alive, she's yeah. I just in awe, to be honest, guys. And trust me, I did a really good job, because I love the other members too. I really do. And I really was paying attention to them too. But she was just like that first time I ever checked out Blackpink. She demands my attention. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, she is, like, they're all insanely charismatic. They all nailed it. All four of them. But Lisa's honestly one of the most charismatic performers I've ever seen. I mean, I thought that when watching her on screens, and seeing her live now, I can honestly say she, like, as far as charisma, she's up there with, I'm talking charisma, Beyonce, which some people may see as insane, but honestly, folks, you can't deny it. You can't deny that charisma. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, The show is amazing, guys. It is, as far as stadium shows go. I've been very lucky to see some amazing bands and stuff in stadiums. It's right up there. It's right up there. I would say this, and this is probably the biggest compliment I can give. I was insanely lucky this time to have this as a gifted experience, and I'm going to be forever grateful to Daniel for it. I think this is the biggest compliment I can give it. I know how much this costs. I know how expensive it is. K-pop shows are always expensive in some ways, right? But the big groups, Blackpink being one of them, crazy money we're talking, right? I would see Blackpink again. I would see Blackpink again. I would happily, if the amount was pretty much what I was told it was, I'd pay again. I'd pay this time. I mean, because again, I can't stress how lucky I was. But next time I'd see them again. It's not one of those cases where I'm like, oh, I've seen Blackpink live now. Awesome, bucket list checked off. I'd see them again because the adrenaline and the dopamine I felt was insane levels. And I'd like to apologize to Daniel and he's probably wants to apologize to me because the amount of simping me and him were doing, we were punching each other in the arms. We were holding each other up at different times because it was a struggle, man. It was a struggle, man. So yeah, if you got the money, guys, if you can afford it, I'd highly recommend seeing Blackpink live. I'd see them again. I'd see them again. I need to get a t-shirt, by the way. I thought I had merch regret as well. Daniel and his daughter got some merch, and I was fighting for it for a while. And then the show ended, and I came home, and I was like, oh, I'd like a t-shirt. I may get a t-shirt. I may get a Blackpink t-shirt. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this was another thing. This was as well, guys, is that it was a great reminder of how much I love Blackpink. Oh my god, I hated myself if I didn't mention this. I haven't got them with me right now, but we were in the queue and we were sat next to people too. We got given these people were so kind. We got given key rings and stuff that these people made, these fans made, fans of Blackpink made, and just everyone there. There was just this lovely atmosphere, and the fans were lovely. We talked to a few people too, and they were lovely people. So, Blinks get a bad rap, guys. I talked about it before. Any fandom, unfortunately, there's good eggs and there's bad eggs. It's just when you're a fandom size of someone like Blackpink, there's just gonna be more bad eggs than normal. And I've experienced it myself on this channel. I did that video, which actually blew up quite a bit, which thank you for the people that have shared it, where I talked about the hate that Lisa gets, for example, from Blinks. And I, again, air quotes on that. So yeah, there's bad examples of it, but there's also lovely people too, and that's what should be more celebrated. The crowd were amazing to them as well. Yeah, it was an amazing day, guys. It was an amazing day. I thank you to Daniel again. Insanely lucky I am. But I'd see them live. Yeah, I'd see them live again. That's how good they were. So anyway, if you were there, guys, or if you've seen them on this tour, let me know how your experience was in the comments. I'd imagine you enjoyed it quite a bit. If you plan to see them live, let me know. What was your favorite moment if you were there, if you did see it live? And yeah, that was awesome. So hope you guys. Oh right, a few things to say. Reminders if you're still watching. Jennie and Jisoo stuff mostly is on Patreon for free. Just search Jennie and Jisoo on my Patreon. You will find reactions there for free because they got blocked off so many times on YouTube, annoyingly. Some of Rosé stuff too, a little bit. Most of Rosé stuff I can get on YouTube, but some of it is only on Patreon, again for free. And a little bit of Lisa's too. Of course, I did the Ultimate Blackpink ranking, guys, which I mentioned earlier. Finished it. Did jump with it. That's the last episode of it. I will be saying that I will be doing the Ultimate Blackpink re-ranking pretty soon. So keep an eye on the community posts and stuff like that in general on the channel, or if you want to keep an eye on the Patreon too, because how that works is basically it's this mix of a listen-a-thon of all their songs, with me ranking them, re-ranking them after each song. But we listen to the songs fully together, so it's kind of like a mix of a listen-a-thon and a reaction. Not a reaction, actually, a ranking, just a ranking. I've done a few so far. I did the one for Dreamcatcher. I'm currently going through 80s. The next girl group I do, though, when I come back to girl groups, will be Blackpink, because again, I'm pretty sure they were the second ranking series I ever did. And yeah, it's great. You get people in the chat who like never checked out these groups, and they're checking out stuff for the first time, and they like listen along to songs they wouldn't have heard otherwise. Like I've got a few people into 80s because of it, for example, a few people into Dreamcatcher, and then I'm sure the same thing would happen with Blackpink. So yeah, that's gonna be great. It is gonna be live on Twitch when it happens, so keep an eye on whenever that day will be. And then it is recorded as well, but it does not go onto YouTube. It does go onto Patreon, exclusively onto Patreon. So yeah, want to mention that too. Anything else? Oh yeah, keep an eye elsewhere on the channel. There might be something Blackpink related happening relatively soon. I'll just say that for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button if you did. That can be a great idea when I see Blackpink on the channel. Comment away, like I said earlier, and please subscribe, because plenty of Blackpink on the channel already. The Blackpink reactions playlist should be somewhere above my head right now, including the entire Blackpink ranking series. Plenty more on the way. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, afternoon, night, whenever you're watching this. Please take care. Much